Today I'm going to teach you a little bit about the Pythagorean theorem. This is a right triangle. The two straight sides of a right triangle are called the legs and are labeled A and B. The slant is called the hypotenuse and is labeled C. The formula for the measure of the sides of a right triangle is A squared plus B squared equals C squared, and is known as the Pythagorean theorem. Now let's take a look at this right triangle on this graph, and we are going to figure out what the sides equal. And we are just going to say that the measurement we are using is inches. First thing we're going to do is look at this point 5, 4 right here, and we are going to count over to point 8, 4. 1, 2, 3. There are 3 spaces between the 5, 4 and the 8, 4, and we are going to call that side B. It could also be side A. I chose to make it B. The only one that has to stay the same is the slant. The slant, or the hypotenuse, always needs to be side C. Okay, we're going to make this green line our side A, and we are going to count from 8, 9 to 0.84. Start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So side A is 5. Now, we are trying to find side C, and our formula is A squared plus B squared equals C squared. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. 3 squared is 9. 5 squared is 25 equals C squared. 9 plus 25 is 34, which equals C squared. So we find the square root of 34. C equals 5.83. Try this next one on your own. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. In this case, 12 squared plus 12 squared equals C squared. 144 plus 144 equals C squared, which equals 288, which equals C squared. We find the square root of both of those. Square root of 288 equals the square root of C squared, which is C. Square root of 288 is 16.97, so that is what C equals. Try this next one on your own. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. In this case, 3 squared plus 5 squared equals C squared. 9 plus 25 equals C squared. 34 equals C squared. We take the square root of both sides. And C equals 5.83. Try this next one on your own. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. In this case, 10 squared plus 2 squared equals C squared. 100 plus 4 equals C squared. 104 equals C squared. We take the square root of both sides, and C equals 10.20. Try this next one on your own. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. In this case, 9 squared plus 17 squared equals C squared. 81 plus 289 equals C squared. 370 equals C squared. We find the square root of both sides, and C equals 19.24. Try this next one on your own. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. 5 squared plus 3 squared equals c squared. 25 plus 9 equals c squared. 34 equals c squared. We find the square root of both sides. And c equals 5.83. Try this next one on your own. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. 18 squared plus 11 squared equals c squared. 324 plus 121 equals c squared. 445 equals c squared. We take the square root of both sides. And 445 squared equals 21.1. Now I'm going to briefly go over factors. This will probably be a review for most of you, but because factors are used so often in algebra, and Algebra 1 is the class that comes after 7th and 8th grade math, I wanted to review them now. When multiplying, the numbers that you multiply are called factors, and the answer is called a multiple. Whenever I'm looking for the factors of a number, I always begin with the number 1 and then continue listing the factors in order. 1 and 12 are factors of 12 because 1 times 12 equals 12. The other factors of 12 are 2 and 6, 3 and 4, and I believe that's it. Now, on 24, we have 1 and 24 because 1 times 24 is 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, and 4 and 6. Try this next one on your own. To find the factors of 60, we begin with the number 1 and 60, 2 and 30, 3 and 20, 4 and 15, 5 and 12, and 6 and 10. There are 12 factors of 60. And just to give you a heads up, all of the examples I'm giving you to try have 12 factors. Also, you may need to use a calculator to figure all of them out. Try this next one on your own. The factors of 72 are 1 and 72, 2 and 36, 3 and 24, 4 and 18, 6 and 12, and 8 and 9. Try this next one on your own. The factors of 84 are 1 and 84, 2 and 42, 3 and 28, 4 and 21, 6 and 14, and 7 and 12. Try this next one on your own. The factors of 90 are 1 and 90, 2 and 45, 3 and 30, 5 and 18, 6 and 15, and 9 and 10. Try this next one on your own. The factors of 96 are 1 and 96, 2 and 48, 3 and 32, 4 and 24, 6 and 16, and finally 8 and 12. Now we are going to go over the distributive property, and this is a pre-algebra concept. It is dabbling a little bit in algebra. We use the distributive property when we have a number outside of parentheses and we want to multiply it by what's inside of the parentheses. Outside of the parentheses, I have an 8, and inside of the parentheses, I have x plus 4. Now, the x is called a variable. Variables are used in algebra. They are letters that stand for numbers. We do not know what number x stands for. But what we do, how we multiply this, is we begin by multiplying the 8 times the x, and that is 8x. Next, we multiply the 8 times the 4, and that gives us 32. So if we use the distributive property to multiply this, we get 8x plus 32. Try this next one on your own. Let's try another one. In this case, I have a 3 outside of the parentheses, and I have x plus 6 inside the parentheses. I begin by multiplying the 3 times the x, which gives me 3x, and then I multiply the 3 times the 6, which gives me 18. 3x plus 18 is our final answer. This one looks a little different because it has not only an x but a y in it. We have a 7 on the outside and x plus 3y on the inside. In algebra, whenever you have a number right next to a letter with nothing in between, that stands for multiplication. So 3y means 3 times y. We begin by multiplying the 7 times the x, which gives us 7x. We multiply the 7 times the 3y, and that gives us 21y, so we have 7x plus 21y. Try this next one on your own. This time we have a 3 on the outside and we have an x plus 2y on the inside. We begin by multiplying the 3 times the x, which gives us 3x. When we multiply the 3 times the 2, we get, or 2y, we get 6y. So our answer is 3x plus 6y. Try this next one on your own. This time we have a 4 on the outside of the parentheses and an x minus 3y on the inside of the parentheses. We begin by multiplying the 4 times the x, which gives us 4x. Next, we multiply the 4 times the negative 3y. The minus sign makes the 3 a negative, and that gives us negative 12y. So our answer is 4x minus 12y. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed creating it for you.